let me. I am. I am so unprepared to do anything, but I feel like I needed to read this because I said I would read it last week when I was here. Is remember we read last week in Psalm 145. Deborah don't have her Bible because we left it at home,
Yeah.
We left.
and
just
we
come
didn't.
straight
We
from
come
there.
straight from Lake City,
I
so.
said about it.
But I found in this Bible here the place of where David was in the cave.
Right.
And some of these verses is going to be a little strange to me. Some of them will be pretty easy verses, but in Psalm 142, Psalm 142 is the place of where a prayer when David was in the cave.
Yeah.
And I don't know how this is going to be. It starts out in verse 1. It says, I cried unto the Lord with my voice.
Yeah.
Psalm 142. I cried unto the Lord with my voice. With my voice unto the Lord did I make my supplication,
Yeah.
or my request.
Right.
That supplication is the request.
Right.
I poured out my complaint before him.
Yeah.
I showed before him my trouble, which it's not like that God was not able to see the trouble, because God is able to see in the middle of our cave, in the blackness of a cave.
Amen.
A cave is where there is no light at all.
That's right.
You don't have hanging lanterns. You don't have hanging lights. The only light you have in the cave is in the entrance of the cave.
Yeah.
The further you get away from the entrance, the more darker it is.
That's right.
So we know that it says, I poured out my complaint before him. I showed before him my trouble. When my spirit was overwhelmed within me, then thou knewest my path. In the way wherein I walked, have they privately laid a snare for me. Talking about in the way wherein I walked, have they privately laid a snare for me. Sometimes our darkness can be a snare to us.
Oh, yeah.
It can be a catch to us. That's the reason a lot of people hunt in the middle of the night. They fish in the middle of the night because they know that the likelihood is they can catch something in the middle of the night rather than in broad daylight.
That's right.
It says, I looked on my right hand and beheld, but there was no man that would know me. See, even in a cave, you almost feel like that you're by yourself and you're all alone. Refuge failed me. No man cared for my soul. See, when a person is in the darkness, I'll give you an example. Me and Deborah heard something today that frightened me. Deborah didn't hear it, but it frightened us. At the doctor's office, there was a man that was on the phone, and he got so agitated that he screamed out at the person over the telephone.
Yeah.
Not at us, not at anybody in the office, but he screamed out at the telephone. Well, it made all of us wonder what is going on. Well, because Deborah's hearing is not that good, I could hear there was yelling going on, and it sounded like I was going to have to go up front to find out what was going on, because I felt like if this guy is starting trouble, it's going to take somebody like me to stand in the way of them innocent nurses.
Yeah.
if something is going to happen, because I didn't know. Well, come to find out, the man was there. He had some issues. He was with his caregiver, which was a young black girl, and I found myself telling that young black girl when they was not together, I went in to get my eye taken care of. Before I went in to get my eye shot, I went over and I gave that lady one of my tracts.
Yeah.
And I said, maybe you can put this out somewhere for him to read, but don't take no credit for it. Just don't say that you're the one that did it.
Right.
Well, before I had my eye injected, I went back over there and I gave her another tract. I said, ma'am, I'm giving you this tract for you.
Yeah.
Because her response and her need to me was as great or more so than the man's response.
Right.
And it showed that I was concerned about him, but I wasn't concerned about her. So I went over and took one of them extra tracts and gave it to her. And she thought that that was really sweet of me to do. She looked at the tract. She looked at the phone number. She looked at my website. She got to see all of that information. And I told her, I said, ma'am, you need to just take a time that when you go and care for him, you need to just go find you one of them videos and play it. And let him be able to hear it through you. Not through me, but
Right.
through you.
Right.
Let it be, you be the pigeon to take the food to him and do it without taking any credit for
Right.
it.
And he might not want to hear it.
Well, he
if
might
she
not.
said, right.
But if
But
she
right.
if she plays it, then it'll be innocent.
He has to hear it because.
Well, we would hope that he would hear it, but if he didn't, but the bottom line is, I cared enough. It says, but there was no man that would know me, refuge failed me, no man cared for my soul. That woman, no doubt, when she heard that man yell in that doctor's office, she was embarrassed because she was the one that took care of this man.
I bet he was a veteran.
He was.
That's what I thought.
He was. He had a problem with Agent Orange.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how I found out that was as he was sitting at my chair when I was leaving out of the doctor's office getting my injection. He was sitting over there and I had a chance to talk to him and I said, sir, what you need is the Lord.
Yeah.
And I said it in a way that I wasn't going to back up from saying it, but I don't think that he understood what I was saying to him. I don't think he comprehended what I said to him. And then I found myself saying it again to him. I reinforced it, but I still didn't see evidence of him taking it in the way I was intending to say it. It says no man cared for my soul. Well, I cared enough to give 2 gospel tracts.
Yeah.
2 gospel tracts to a person that I didn't even know about, a person that I did not know. Listen, it says, I cried unto thee, O Lord. Now you got to remember, David is crying in a cave.
Yeah,
He's in darkness. So he's by himself. He's lonely. Now is the Lord with him? Yes.
Yeah.
The Lord is with him, but he's still in that environment of being in darkness. It says, I cried unto thee, O Lord. I said, thou art my refuge and my portion in the land of the living.
Yeah.
See, I was in the land of the living today in that doctor's office when I heard that man scream. I was in the land of the living. That man was alive, But that man needed something other than what he was yelling about.
Right.
He needed something from God.
What kind of doctor
Is what?
was it?
Huh?
What kind of doctor was it?
The eye doctor.
Oh, okay.
My eye doctor. He was there for
Okay.
my eye
Yeah, I was
surgery.
wondering if maybe he was having a...
No, he was there for his eyes.
Okay.
I cried unto thee, O Lord. I said, Thou art my refuge and my portion in the land of the living. Attend unto my cry.
Yeah.
See, I cried basically for him
Yeah.
because he was unable to cry out to God, because you can't cry out to God if you don't know God.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the bottom line. You can't cry to a God that you don't know. Attend unto my cry, for I am brought very low. Deliver me from my persecutors,
Yeah.
for they are stronger than I.
Yeah.
That man told me what his problem was. His problem was Agent Orange.
What is that?
It was what
Agent-
they used in NAM.
Agent Orange was used as a chemical,
Oh, yeah, I remember.
and it would make
Yeah.
you nuts. It would make you crazy.
Oh,
Well,
They
listen,
sprayed their own people.
attend unto, listen now, attend unto my cry, for I am brought very low. There was evidence that man was very low,
Yeah.
maybe innocently, but he was very low. Deliver me from my persecutors. He can't deliver himself,
No.
because if he doesn't know the Lord, he can't ask for deliverance. All he can do is live from day to day to day to day. That's all he can do. He doesn't have the ability to invite the Lord in. And it says, deliver me from my persecutors, for they are stronger than I. He let me know that the problem he had was Agent Orange.
Yeah.
He was up front with me. He told me that I was a stranger to him.
Yeah.
But yet he was crying out in the only way he could. Listen to verse 7. This is the last verse. Bring my soul out of prison.
Yeah.
The only one that's going to deliver a soul is Jesus.
That's right.
That's all. That's the only one that can deliver him from his dilemma and his problem is the Lord God Almighty. That's it.
That's right.
And see, I gave his care worker and himself, through her, a gospel tract
Yeah.
that very well could make him see the light. And he has a right to throw it down if he wants to, or he has a right to read it and to meditate on it and to think about it. I planted the seed.
Yeah.
The seed went to that girl with the long red hair.
Yeah.
See, she's got my seed in her possession right now. It's going to be up to her to figure out a way for him to see it. And I do think that the way she talked to me today is that she does care about the man. But there's limited abilities that only she can do.
Right.
She's limited in what she's able to do. Listen, bring my soul out of prison, that I may praise thy name.
Yeah.
See, David wasn't actually in a prison. He was in a cave where it was dark. It says up here, a prayer when he was in a cave.
Yeah, he was on the run from his son. His son was trying to kill him.
The righteous, listen to this, y'all. I hadn't read this now. The righteous shall compass me about, for thou shalt deal bountifully with me.
Yeah.
It says here, the righteous shall compass me about. the righteous. Who was righteous in that situation? It was that gospel tract that I handed off.
Right.
When me and Deborah got to the doctor's office, one of my tracts fell out of my phone pouch and landed on the chair where I was sitting. When I walked back to give her that tract and went back in there, I noticed that that tract was sitting on that bench where it fell out of my pouch. That second tract was the one that I gave to her.
Yeah.
She was the one that got her own tract, is where I got it from, off my chair. It could have laid there for somebody else to pick up, but I decided to pick it back up and give it to her and let her keep it and let her use it. Now see, the seed has been planted. So again, a prayer when he was in the cave. See, we're in a place right now that we've got a lot here and a lot there, and we got sunshine coming in here and there and there. See, we don't feel like that we're in a cave.
Right.
Because we've got sunlight. We can see to walk back to the very end of the trailer. We can walk back there. We can see where we're going. We got light to see. In a cave, you don't have that.
Right.
The further you get in the cave, the more likely it is that you can't see. And there's a lot of people, no doubt, that are probably in a cave of a prison, that they're hoping that somebody can come along and give them the answer. You know, I could actually have that man call me. That man could find that track and see that number and say, I found your track. I do not know where I found it. Would you mind talking to me? The very man that yelled out in the doctor's office, he only was doing what his aggravation was.
Right.
He was aggravated, not at the people in the doctor's office. He was aggravated at the person on the phone bothering him.
Right.
And he just launched out in a fit of a rage to make everybody think that something was going on up in the front lobby, that I thought that I was going to have to get up and go and bear hug the man.
Yeah.
I thought I was what I was going to have to do, because there was nobody else in the doctor office as big as I was. See, that's the advantage when you're a big guy. You can overcome the smaller individual. I'd hate to know I would have to, because he could probably throw me down if I wasn't careful.
If he was in NAM,
You know,
if he was in NAM,
well, he could have, but it didn't come to that.
yeah.
I showed him the gospel through that girl.
Is that door coming in?
That girl no doubt ended up getting something that day she had no idea somebody was going to give her.
Right.
That tract was laying in a place when I handed it to her for her to take advantage of. Now, what she does with it is on her.
That's right.
Maybe she might have another friend that she could call and say, hey, somebody gave me this tract. What does this mean? What does it mean to me? She might have somebody else that she can talk to. I don't know.
Was that man an invalid where she had to kind of help him?
No, I
up and
think it was a caregiver. She was a caregiver, but he had his own place to live. He wasn't like in a nursing home or in a hospital or things like that. This girl was just paid to sort of tend to him and help him in some fashion,
Right.
in some
well,
way.
If he got out of order or whatever,
She would know how to take care of it.
Right.
Well, see, getting back to David being in the cave, a cave is a lonely, dark place, and a lot of people are in that lonely, dark place of their life.
Right.
and they don't know what to do about it, and they have no clue of what to do about it.
He could been having a flashback.
Well, it could have been. It could have been in anger. But the bottom line is that now he has something that he can read on,
Right.
that he can be able to seek help with.
Right.
And who knows, maybe he might seek out help.
Right.
But I
Usually-
thought it was a little odd.
Yeah.
I thought it was a little odd that he launched out the way he did.
Right.
So I guess that's the